Catchment Convos with Thriving Southland, your link to Southland catchment groups and their impactful projects. Each episode will dive into grassroots effort by local farmers and communities that are driving change and sustainability in our regions. Listen in for inspiring stories and insight. Real people, real change, the Southland way. Welcome back to Catchment Convos. I'm your host, Rachel Halder, and today we're diving into all things AgriTech. We're fresh off the heels of the first Southern AgriTech and Innovation Day, and what an absolute game changer of a day it was. In this episode, we're going to unpack everything that went down at the event, from the innovative tech we saw to the inspiring keynotes and the hands-on workshops that had everyone buzzing. If you missed it, don't worry, we've got you covered with all the highlights and a little follow-up information. But we're not going to stop there. We're going to chat about what's next. The wheels are already turning for the next Southern AgriTech and Innovation Day, and we're keen to give you guys a little bit of a sneak peek for what's in the works for the 2025 version. Joining me today is my colleague and the mastermind behind all things AgriTech, Tania Clarke. Together, we'll reflect on the success of the year's event and share our thoughts on how we're planning to make next year's event even better, if that's possible. So grab a cuppa, settle in, and let's get into the future of farming together. So, Tania, welcome to the show. You nervous for your first podcast debut?
Hi, Rachel. I am nervous. I am. This is very new to me, but it's okay. What could go wrong?
What could go wrong? Exactly. Us catchment coordinators, we love a yarn. So this is just talking and recording it, right?
Yes.
So Tania, curious, you were the mastermind behind this awesome AgriTech. For those people who maybe missed it or thinking back, can you just place us? Where was AgriTech? When was it?
So firstly, I wouldn't say I was the only mastermind. I did have a lot of help, and we worked very closely with Waimumu Catchment Group. The event was in May this year at the Waimumu Field Day site. Fabulous location, excellent facilities. You couldn't ask for more. So really great site.
Yeah, so I'm thinking like Waimumu Field Days, like that's a massive site. So, did you guys use all that space? Really, why such a big site?
Well, no, we didn't use it all this year, but next year we might. We did. We actually put a large curtain up about 3/4 the way down the large shed and used that space just to make it a little bit friendlier, a little bit smaller. But we did use it. We had 300 odd people come along to the day, and it was chocker. It was great.
Cool. And so 300 odd people, 30 plus exhibitors and like a range of workshops and speakers. How did this idea even come about?
All good ideas start with just a conversation around a cup of tea or a beer. And this had been happening around Southland. I know I've had catchment groups where the discussion had led to innovation and technology on farm and what people were doing and people were keen to hear about. And this had been happening with other groups as well. And I had a couple of conversations with farmers and thought, you know what, I'm going to give this a nudge. And so I thought, perfect. Waimumu Catchment Group are really keen to get amongst it. They were great partners in this, in the designing of this. They helped guide the decisions around what it is they wanted to see, who they wanted to hear from, exhibitors they were keen to hear from and see. So it was a group effort.
And so in those early conversations and ideas, did you envision you were going to have it at this sort of scale with this many things and moving parts?
With a lot of things we do, Rachel, they grow. So it did grow, and as more people were keen to get involved, and I'm pretty sure that our colleague Claire was adding away interest the week leading up to it, and I even think the day before. So there was a lot of interest in the event when it finally gained some traction through the socials. It takes a wee while for those to get a wee bit of traction through there, but it was fabulous in the end. We did have a lot of interest.
Yeah, and it was really cool to see that. And I guess if we're talking technology, talking innovation, it's, it is a sign of the times, right? And it's kind of everything is encompassed in it, and there's so much. So what were those next steps, and how did the team go about finding speakers or exhibitors?
So the Gore Group did actually they were brilliant at being ruthless and striking off things that they didn't think were of interest or adding things that they really decided they wanted to hear about. And so I went away and spent a lot of little hours doing a wee bit of research on who we might be able to approach to come and speak, to come and exhibit, to come and run workshops. And then the real donkey work did start. And it was just a matter of letting these speakers know what it was we were hoping to achieve, what it was farmers were keen to hear about. And they all jumped on board. Everyone we asked said yes.
You said, what were we hoping to achieve? What was that? What were we trying to achieve with AgriTech?
Well, that's a great point. So it was really a matter of focusing on grassroots technology and innovation. It was the technology and innovation that's accessible and achievable to Southern farmers. So, myself, you, everybody who has a family farm, a corporate farm down here that they can really invest in this technology. It's not out of reach. So that's what we were hoping to really showcase, and it went down well. It was brilliant.
And so when you say not out of reach, you're talking about stuff that's not necessarily here right now, but stuff that's on the horizon, right? Like that technology that's coming and is going to help and improve what we're sort of up to down here in the southern regions.
Yes, new and emerging. New and emerging technology was what we were wanting to showcase. And that's what we hopefully achieved. The feedback we received was brilliant. But yeah, we can always look to new next year. And it's always next year. So yeah, but no, it was very much around what is accessible to Southern farmers, just emerging and then into the future. So there was a lot of discussion around that.
And yeah, as Tania said, we were really grateful and lucky that we had loads of businesses come on board. So the event was free for everyone that attended, and it was broken up into key speakers, into workshops, into exhibitors. And so, Tania, can you sort of maybe just give us a quick name drop some of our fabulous key speakers that we had throughout the day?
Oh, I know. We're really lucky. I still have to pinch myself. We did have some real high level keynote speakers and panels and workshops, but we started the day with Brendan O'Connell. He's from AgriTech and Innovation, and he really gave us an overview of where things were at in agri-tech around the world. And we also had a fabulous GM panel with Dr. William Ralston, Dr. Tony Connor and Dr. Caroline Saunders.
And so GM, you're talking genetically
yes,
modified?
I am, yes.
Cool.
So it was such a great panel to have a different discussion, actually. And that was like an almost opening of the door of a topic that possibly hadn't been broached terribly much down here. So that was brilliant. Great to have those speakers on there. They know their stuff. They really do. We also had a lovely shared perspective panel around trade and technology with Ruth Leary and Hamish Marr. And that was wonderful. That was really their vision around technology and how it enables trade and puts us in a better position going forward. So that was also great. And Saira from ECA, she had a very high level discussion on the main stage around energy on farm and where farmers could really leverage. And that was great. She also ran a workshop along with loads of other fabulous attendees. They ran some workshops from energy to a great one on robotics, another fabulous one on landscape with Dr. Clint Risman, landscape science, and also a drones workshop, drones on farm, which was very well received. So, there's so many. I actually struggled to put them all into a single sentence, but it was a great day, really good.
It was cool, and it was awesome to see so many questions come through. I know that our speakers have been fielding questions, ever since that day, and it's awesome to see Southland connected with some of these people who are out there in the world and out there in New Zealand, asking questions and looking into solutions and options that are going to help us directly on farm. So after the event, we got some good feedback, and we've kind of started looking into next AgriTech. Have we not there, Tania?
We have. We're just about to start. The discussions have started. We'll put it there. One of the only feedback we received that possibly may have gone into the negative was around the temperature. And unfortunately, we can't fix that. But it was a lovely day the day before, and it was a lovely day the day after when we were packing up. So hopefully this coming May, it will be a lovely day on the day. So yes, so that's as far as we've got. We're now fishing through feedback for other ideas that people have put forward for future speakers and workshops. So the work has begun.
Work has indeed begun, and we endeavour to make AgriTech 2025 as good, if not better, than our first edition. And so what do you think some of the sort of key components we're going to take forward or take through to 2025 will be, Tania?
2025. I know it seems like such a long way away, but it's not. Not when you're planning such a big event. Obviously, more topical panels. The format that we had was really well received. The food was brilliant. The exhibitors, we know we've already had people lining up to be on next year's exhibitors list. So just more and more topical subjects. So it'll be great. It'll be really good.
Which I suppose with trade and tech and innovation, it's hard to almost book a lot of stuff in right now when, we're still a little bit in the future. So we don't want to miss the mark on some sort of up and coming stuff that might come out of the pipeline in the new year. But as you said, exhibitors, it was so cool to see so many Southland businesses highlighted at an event like that. And I think some of the ones you've already mentioned, Southland is doing some awesome stuff at putting its best foot forward and actually problem solving a lot of things that they've got down here that are perceived as opportunities for improvement. And I guess that's what AgriTech's trying to do, isn't it, Tania, is connect people, create opportunities for learning and education, but also making it farmer to farmer learning. Any comments on that?
Well, I'm just going to say you're right. You're so right, Rachel. It is a moving beast. It's so quick. The technology and innovation, when I was setting up the speakers and having many conversations with speakers leading into this year's event, one thing that came across really strongly was, it's always moving. What we're discussing now is old news in a couple of months. And so that is really hard to pinpoint, to really lock things in for next year, because who knows what's going to be on the horizon. So it's exciting. It's so exciting. The conversations it was so loud in that shed.
Yeah, it was.
The conversations that were happening between farmers, between growers, between some of the speakers, it was just fabulous. It was so good to see that connection. And we're so lucky down here to have such strong connections in our rural communities.
Yeah, and that was really evident on the day, wasn't it? That, we saw old friends catching up, we saw new people making connections. And so just sort of parting words, Tania, anything you want to tell our listeners, any call outs you want to sort of make for this next event in 2025?
Get in touch. I am all ears. I would love to hear some of your ideas for how you'd like to run, who you'd like to hear from, what you'd like to see. If you know of a small business or a speaker that you think would be a fabulous fit, let me know. I am here. So that's something I would say. We are going to start looking at lining up dates. So keep an ear out for that and have a look at this year's event. It's all loaded on the Thriving Southland website, and all the videos are on there from the panels and keynote speakers from the main stage, and all the details from the workshop. So jump on there and have a look.
Yeah, cool. And as Tania said, there is videos, there's presentations. And so if you missed it, or if you want to recap, go for it. But I guess this is a really cool opportunity as well for us to extend our gratitude to all those that made the event possible in the first place. It was a little bit of a big, ambitious goal that the Gore Catchment Group and Thriving set out to achieve. And special thanks to the speakers and their organisations for coming down south and sharing with us all your expertise, ideas and knowledge. You've sparked really engaging discussions and conversations, and you did indeed leave farmers wanting more. So note the discussion for 2025. And a huge thanks to all the sponsors for their support in delivering the day. We're lucky to have such a fantastic local support network down here for the catchment groups and Thriving. So thank you. And of course, all the exhibitors for setting up and engaging with all of the participants and the farmers that came along for the day. It was invaluable for everyone to be able to join the dots and get those next steps in place. So giving people that connection to turn those ideas and those little sparks of inspiration into action. And all of those who gave us some feedback, we are reading through it, we're taking it into account and building this next event for 2025 that we're super excited about. So thank you, Tania, for jumping on and chatting to me about it. It's an incredibly hard event to wrap up in, a wee conversation or a wee sentence. But hey, as she said, Check out the website for all information, and of course, would love you to listen to our other podcast episodes. So like and subscribe, and we'll catch you next episode. Thanks again to the Gore Group, and thanks, Tania. Catch you later.
Thanks, Rach.
Bye.
Bye.